Hello everyone, let's rank all Souls DLC final bosses from worst to best. Okay, I think I won't surprise absolutely anyone. The worst final boss on this list without a doubt is Consort Radahn. Yeah, I know that there will be a few, no, you don't understand, this boss is overhated and blah blah blah, but even though moveset wise, he has objectively more diverse moveset than pretty much half of these bosses on this list, but that means nothing. Consort Radahn is just such a lazy and interesting boss in every single way. It's just not even funny. I have multiple videos about why I think that he's a lazy piece of shit. I will just add a huge part from my previous videos. If you saw this video, just skip at least timecode. He is the most lazy boss among all Souls games. Let me explain. Radahn even in Afghanistan is still a Radahn. His design is just a shitty version of Twin Princess plus Phase 1 Godfrey. His boss arena is literally Giles plus Ludwig's boss arena. His wombo combo is literally copy pasted from Pontiff's wombo combo. Half of his moveset is stolen from Vangeral from Dark Souls 2. On the release day of DLC, he was unjustifiably disbalanced and artificially hard boss. When you fight bosses like King No Name, Mesmer, Manus, Fume Knight and other hard bosses, you fight a hard bosses that requires you to be very careful and vigilant. But despite their challenge, they are a fair bosses. But Mr. Incestual Gaylord on a release date was such a disbalanced piece of shit, holy shit. A boss that could hit you in mid-roll, a boss with insane stats, a boss that non-stop spammed you with 8-hit wombo combo, a boss whose every hit had extra Sunstrike that could micro-stun you, which allowed Radahn to wombo combo you. A boss that has 4 fucking one-shot moves. A boss with absolutely broken hitboxes. A boss who could hit you while you were on the other side of the map. And a boss who almost non-stop pushed you while giving you epilepsy. Among all Souls games, I've never seen a boss that was so anti-creative. A boss this unfair, and a boss that just has nothing special about him. In 2 words, Radahn being a living proof that From Software is running out of ideas is the reason why I put him on this list. I've never, even once, even while fighting Malenia, who also had her own issues, had the thought that Hidetaka is running out of ideas for bosses. But against Radahn, I 24/7 had the thoughts such as, what the fuck is this? Did someone even tested this boss? Or, did they seriously just copy-pasted their own assets that hard? Really? And I don't want to see comments like this. If you think that he was way too hard for me, I have a few important things to say to you. First,
you are a worthless, bitch-ass nigga. Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my dick daily. You're gonna stay on my dick until you die. Your purpose in life is to be in that chat blowing a dick daily.
secondly, I killed him in less than 40 min on my first DLC playthrough. I spent much more time on Mesmer than on this bastard, but unlike some Elden Ring fans who devour absolutely everything that this game will drop on the ground, I can fight the boss for a while and say, nah, this boss sucks a dick. DLC Radahn is a bullshit boss in every single aspect, starting with his visual and lore, and ending with his gameplay. At 7th place, I'll put Sin. Sin is okay boss at best, and I will think that he has a bit like slightly more diverse moveset than the next boss, but I have 2 main problems with him. First of all, gameplay wise, he is ungodly annoying to fight. Like, he's a Mulai butterfly on a huge steroids. If you haven't wondered why in Souls games dragon bosses had broken wings, here is an answer. He is just non-stop flying up in air, and he either throws poison fireballs at you, breathe fires at you while moving at you, or even tries to squish you with brute force. Yeah, to be fair, some other Souls dragon bosses are also running simulators, but Sin is on a whole new level. Plus my big thanks for the fact against him, your weapon breaks in seconds, and in mid-fight you quickly have to pull out other weapon. My second biggest issue is that he kinda has no purpose story-wise. Drageblood Knights invaded Chulwa, killed nearly everyone, and when they met Sin, Sin blew up and killed almost all Drageblood Knights, and just did a final blow to already dead kingdom. He doesn't have some major connection to other bosses, he doesn't have some impact on Dark Souls 2 story, and he on his own doesn't really have interesting story. He just exists just to exist. And because of that, I'll put him at number 7. At number 6, I'll put Ivory King. Yeah, even though moveset wise, Ivory King is a bit weaker than Sin, I think that both fun and story wise, he is better than Sin. Gameplay wise, Ivory King to this day is a very unique boss. Before you fight the king, you need to explore Elium Lois and collect the last non-insane Elium Lois knights, and will let help fight Ivory King and his army. Yeah, you can ignore knights and just jump in, but you will quickly get gangbanged. Even though I like Ivory King both as idea and gameplay wise, there are some problems about him. First of all, moveset wise, he's, well, not the most impressive one. He just spams the same 3-hit combo, grab hit and AoE ice magic. My second problem is that this boss shines only if you summon phantoms, so that you can have a battle royale in which 9 people are beating the shit out of each other over and over. But the problem is that by the end of the fight, 3 Elium Lois knights will close the gates and will leave king alone, which means that you, 2 phantoms, and 1 very tanky Elium Lois knight will just gangbang a poor king. Story wise, he's decent. Yeah, he doesn't have any connection to main story of Dark Souls 2, but he has a small connection to Yoren Pontiff, because Profaned Capital is basically built on Elium Lois remainings. Plus, I kinda like how he pretty much sacrificed himself for his kingdom. He was the only king who managed to fight darkness in his queen, and he was literally the only non-shitty or brain-dead king among all Dark Souls 2 kings. So I think that number 6 is a fair place for him. At number 5, I'll put Sir Alon. Gameplay wise, I would say that he is the most interesting and fun boss among all Dark Souls 2 final DLC bosses. He has more diverse moveset than Ivory King, he's much faster and more aggressive than Ivory King, and he's much more fun to fight than Near Infinity Catch Me If You Can Simulator. Sir Alon boss fight is pretty much a PvP duel against a powerful and honorable dude, who values honor more than anything. If you manage to kill him without taking any damage, he will do seppuku in order to clean his honor, which is a very interesting feature of this boss. Story wise, he also is good. He has a connection to a few bosses of Dark Souls 2, and he had a major impact towards Iron King, who is one of the Lord Soul owners in this game. Now about why I won't put him higher. Well, simply because even though moveset wise he is decent and he is fun to fight, I realized one very oopsie moment about him. Sir Alon is basically Malenia with extra sword. If I ask you on which move you died the most against Sir Alon, I am certain that everyone will say least charge hit, and I think that's one of the biggest problem of this boss. He does this move way too often, and sometimes you unknowingly think that Sir Alon is a one move boss, which is not cool at all, because boss has interesting moveset, and sometimes he can really catch you off guard, but at least one charge move really devalues his moveset. Plus, both story and gameplay wise, upcoming bosses are a bit better than Sir Alon. I was thinking for a while what is more important for a DLC final boss, a moveset and gameplay, or story and his impact on the world of his game. But in the end I thought, well, nearly everyone plays Souls game for boss fights, so I think gameplay is more important. So I will put Anus, Daddy of the Abyss at number 4. Even though Manus by 2025 boss standards has a bit poor moveset, he is still not that bad gameplay wise. More than that, I ironically think that he is the best boss of Dark Souls 1, and also I think that after Fume Knight, he is the second best pre-blood Bloodborne Soulsborne boss. Manus pretty much has everything that can make a boss interesting and somewhat challenging. He has stunlock 6-hit wombo combo, gap closer, 3 variety of magics, quick hits, a few long range hits and some weird move in which he jumps on you, a bit delay hits and other stuff. The only thing that he doesn't have is a grab hit and phase 2, but other than that, gameplay wise he even by 2025 bosses standards is decent. Story wise, Manus is pretty much the most important character on this list. Manus has a massive connection to all Dark Souls 3 games. He has a connection to a truckload of bosses for Dark Souls universe. He's the second most important character after Gwyn. His actions and his existence even after death had a massive impact for Dark Souls universe. If it was just about how important are these bosses for their game's story and about how big was their impact, Manus without a doubt would be at number 1. But because objectively saying gameplay wise, he is weaker than any upcoming boss, I will put Manus at number 4. Bronze medal goes to Sister Feet. Let's start with this boss' biggest problem. She has completely dogshit story. She not only has absolutely uninteresting story, she has close to zero impact for Dark Souls universe. Her strongest sides without a doubt are her fanarts, of course, and her gameplay. First of all, Fried is one of the few non-shitty Souls duo boss fights who won't just non-stop spam you until you die, and also she and Ariandel are not linear infinity pillar hack simulators in hopes that you will kill fat one before skinny one will backshot you. Secondly, if I remember correctly, she's the first Souls boss with 3 completely different phases. She on her own is very fast boss with interesting and diverse moveset. Yeah, many people are bitching about her being way too fast for Dark Souls 3 combat speed, but that's not a problem at all, because she has multiple weak moments, which compensates her fast base move speed. She has zero poise, which allows you to do a decent amount of damage to her if you manage to catch her off guard. Plus she can be backstabbed, which makes this fight much easier than you think, because she has multiple hits in which she allows you to backstab her for free. Fried also has a very decent moveset in which she has pretty much everything, starting with 8-hit wombo combo and ultra delay hits, and ending with magic and grab hits. Plus she's extremely fast and mobile boss, which makes this fight a bit more fun than for example Ivory King's boss fight. So yeah, in 2 words, her gameplay and her being one of the few non-shitty Souls duo boss fights is the biggest reason about why I put her at number 3. At number 2 I'll put Orphan, of course. Yeah, story wise he's much more important than the winner of this video, and also he has a much more interesting story behind him, but personally I think that he should be at number 2. Now the reason why I think like that. Orphan, despite being one of the few non-punching bug Bloodborne bosses who die before they can show you even a third of their moveset, he can be a bit annoying sometimes. For example, I can't stand his lightning hour damage and his green goblin pancakes or throws. Plus, objectively speaking, Orphan doesn't really have a diverse moveset. Most of the time he's just mashing his weapon like a dumb animal in hope that he will kill you. Yeah, I know that lore wise he's a dumb child with a thunder stick, but still. Also he can be abused really hard in phase 1 if you just parry him over and over. He is swinging his weapon nearly 24/7, and because of that, even if you shoot randomly, there is a high chance that you'll poise break him. Also, my personal thanks for the person who thought adding him screaming non-stop was a good idea, and my bigger thanks for his dumb damage during a certain attacks. But despite that, I'll put him at number 2 for a few reasons. First of all, he's simply a fun and dynamic boss, against whom you just have no time to relax. You constantly have to move, you constantly have to hit him, you always have to do something, otherwise you will die. This fight is a non-stop fight, in which both you and Orphan are trying their very best to turn each other into pieces. If gameplay wise he's a bit like slightly worse than Fried, story and impact wise Orphan is much more important, and I think that giving Orphan a second place is more than fair, because he not only gameplay wise is decent, his story wise is straight up superior to Fried. And the winner of this video is Uncle Klaus. First of all, I want to start with Gael's biggest problem. problem. His lore is the dumbest moment in any Dark Souls game, like holy shit. I can make a whole goddamn video about how retarded and stupid is Gael's lore, and how he pretty much devalues everything that happened in Dark Souls universe. Also, I don't really like the two broke bitch-ass homeless hollows fight each other at the end of the world for absolutely nothing. I just don't feel the weight in this fight story-wise. For example, we fight Orphan in order to finally free many characters from an eternal nightmare. We fight, for example, Manus in order to prevent him fucking up the world even further. We fight, for example, Soul of Cinder in order to seal the fate of this world. But to Gael, we just fight for absolutely useless, worthless paint which was made by a miner, and that's not really cool. Now about why I put Gael at the number 1, despite his beyond shitty lore. Gael is not just a final boss of a Souls game, he is the very last boss of Dark Souls franchise. There was insane pressure on game devs, because if this boss would be disappointing, fans would devour them alive, and did the devs manage to justify fans' expectations? Absolutely yes. If story-wise Gael is garbage, gameplay-wise he is top tier. He has 3 completely different phases, he has a diverse and interesting moveset, he doesn't have some anime nuke that gives you flashbangs. All his anime moves are just a cool anime moves, and not flashbang one-shot half map away nuke. He has a reasonable amount of damage and health, and overall he's extremely fun boss against whom you 24/7 have to fight. Yeah, same thing can be said about Orphan, but I feel like gameplay and moveset wise, Gael is a bit better than Orphan. Plus, fighting a knight with a proper moveset is a bit more enjoyable than fighting a dumb child who is mashing his stick. So yeah, in 2 words, because of his amazing and fun gameplay, I will put Gael at number 1. Well, that's pretty much what I want to say. Type what you think about my video. If you like it, press something under it. With this, I will say bye bye to you, and I will see you next time.